China, they kill them and take their assets. I'm not exaggerating. China kills anyone who stands in their way that's in their country. And now they're trying to use the One Belt, One Road and the totalitarian, nasty economic attitude of President Xi to control anyone where they've bought assets in their countries through leveraging that is not even short of fascism. So what's really going on? Trump is played them. He played them until they played out their hand with their fake gold. Same thing with Russia. Russia supposedly come up with magical gold. We stole all their gold, not all their gold. We stole their gold twice when the USSR and then later with Russia. I could tell the whole story, but let's just say we stole their gold too, and it did not come back to America. It went to Valmont Bank, which then went to Mitt Romney's Bain Capital, and then was dispersed to the Bush family and others who were part of the gold robbery of Russia, and then the gold robbery of the USSR through Leo Wanta and George Soros. Well, George Soros kept a huge part of his, and Leo Wanta is probably dead, and now there's a fake Leo Wanta. But Leo Wanta used to demand that that money be given back to the Americans because the Americans gave the loan to Leo Wanta and George Soros to break the banks and basically the economy of the USSR. And then they did it again with the Vulcans and the Bush family to Russia. So now we're going to do it legally through Trump to China, and Russia has now backed off. China wanted to get their gold-backed yuan into the International Monetary Fund as a reserve currency so that they then could draw down a huge portion because they got a big they got a big economy. They are basically given a big bill to join the IMF. And so we drew them in. We got their money. Trump busted them with the fake gold. Now he's going to cancel the IMF, and he's going to use it to collapse China, not on purpose, because we don't want them totally collapsed, and because the feds, the globalists, Hillary, Eric Schmidt, Google, Facebook, they've all
James
Kissinger,
Breyer, don't forget him. He's over there.
James and John and Uli Milner, all of them. They all banked on Russia and China becoming the dominant economic force because they've joined together in some things. And what has happened? Russia has backed off. The sanctions that were put on by Obama are continued by Trump, and more sanctions. And now he's controlling basically the EU. And people don't understand what Trump has done. He basically is collapsing the EU's support for George Soros and the migrant invasion of Europe. And so that is another economic move. He's working to show that Brexit, he went and he said, I'm not doing any deals with anybody, with groups. These are bilateral agreements. So I'm not going to do a bilateral agreement with an illegal European Union with unelected officials taking their orders from George Soros. And I'm not going to do any deals with a totalitarian communist. He went and needed $850 billion worth of deals, Trump did, when he went there. Not one penny went through because Trump put one proviso on it. You must stop stealing our intellectual property, and we will not accept any of your chips, microchips, because we know that they're surveillance chips. Every single deal collapsed. What he tried to show, President Xi, is that just like he showed Saudi Arabia, just like he showed the entire world, he showed NATO, he showed the European Union, he showed Britain, work with me and we'll both be prosperous. Don't work with me and it's going to be hell for you. So China is about ready to go back into the hell that they have been in for a very, very long time. They thought they could come forward with capitalism, with cyber assistant Eric Schmidt, dragonfly control of their people. But what's really going to happen? Trump is not only going to collapse China, he's not only brought Russia to its knees, he's not only brought the European Union to its knees, he's going to simply go default on the U.S. Federal Reserve on that odious debt. In other words, in 1 year, he will essentially make $21 trillion by simply saying the U.S. Federal Reserve is bogus. First, he will freeze their assets of the central banks and the U.S. Federal Reserve. He will audit him. He will take back what is ours, and they will collapse.